So, General Ordinaro, I really do appreciate your comment in regards to soldiers have got to be number one. They've got to be the number one priority. And I worry, and I'm new to this committee as of at least January, I worry that through sequestration and through the political gyrations that got us there, doesn't matter how we got here, but we got here, the damage that we're doing to our services, and I think you hit it on the head when you said that we really don't do a very good job of identifying future threats. I mean, I think major threats, strategic threats, probably so, but I don't think anybody saw Afghanistan or Iraq coming up on the horizon. And now we're bringing our force structure, I agree with you, that dangerously low, and the lack of readiness across the whole mission area is should concern everyone. And I'm concerned. And I'm concerned about the readiness of our troops, in particular, across all the services, but obviously in the Army, just because of the large nature of it, and in the Marine Corps, the personal nature of that type of combat that you have to engage in puts people at extreme risk on a very close basis. How do we continue to keep a force that is all volunteer? How do we continue to keep them in place when we hear from, in the skimmer in particular, was talking about benefits for those that are going to serve us and have volunteered to serve us and put themselves at risk?
Thank you for that question, because it's a very important question as we look to the future. And there's no doubt in my mind, I think it's absolutely essential we keep an all-volunteer force for a lot of different reasons. I won't talk about that. Let me talk a little bit about compensation. We have very generous and appropriate benefits packages today for our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, in my opinion. But what I think, as I go around and talk to our soldiers, they understand the fact that we're not going to, our thoughts, at least on pay and benefits, is not to decrease them, but decrease the rate of increase. And if we do that, we can save enough money that allows us to appropriately continue to have an all-volunteer force. And they understand that. I think we have to work together with Congress on this, because I know how much you care about taking care of our men and women in uniform. That's very clear. But we have to come together to decide there's ways to do this in such a way where we don't reduce their pay, but we reduce the increases that we have projected, which saves lots of money. And that will enable us, I think, in the long run, to maintain an all-volunteer force.
Well, I faced the same issues when I was sheriff in regards to budgeting and looking at the increases as it forecast down the road, and so I get that. But I also hear, as it relates to, it's not just pay, and you hit it on the head, and I had the same thing in the civilian world, but it is about training, in particular about, our men and women having the ability to fly, our men and women having the ability to go to advanced training. Yes, sir, Admiral.
Well, in the Navy, we talk about a formula. The quality of the service, of the sailor, equates to their quality of life, and that's the stuff we were talking about, their pay, their housing, their entitlements and all that, and the quality of their work. And that's what you just hit the nail on the head, Congressman. Do I have spare parts? Do I have a boss that cares for me? Do I have a boss? Right. Am I training? Do I feel like I'm doing something worthwhile? Is my schedule predictable? What is their work environment? In our world, when they leave the pier, walk across the road and get in their car and drive off, their quality of life is pretty good, and General he relayed that. When they go back down the pier, get on the ship, and go out to do that, we have work to do there, and I'm concerned that we focus so much on the quality of life, and the quality of work vector is going down a lot, and we need to balance that, in my opinion.
I agree. And just one last statement, it's not a question to you because you don't have the answer on this one, but I really do call upon Commander-in-Chief to take a more active role in regards to working with this Congress, particularly with the Senate, to move issues as it relates directly to our security here in this country, and having the ability to project force, but also to protect the forces that we're projecting. And I think the Commander-in-Chief owes that to those that he commands and has that overall responsibility, and I yield back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gallego.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral, I will confess to you